Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo Saturday edition. I'm your host and keeper of the Harry channel. This is the Saturday edition, late and therefore GHEY, technical excellence. Basically, somebody created a stream that I couldn't get rid of, so I had to hand edit the whole thing and I couldn't post in advance. YouTube is complicated and there's like a whole group of volunteers running one channel, so these things happen. So apologies for not announcing the stream in advance, but instead of all the groveling, tonight with us we have we almost have with us Sora Luna. She's running late. We have Serenity Star 13.
Hello.
And SkepTok.
Hi, everybody.
So, Serenity, did anything happen this week in your area?
Not really. It's just, like I told Skep, the weather's been schizophrenic, but that's normal for this time of year. So I'm accustomed to it, so it does not bother me.
Well, anytime you have mountains in the mix, you're going to have all kinds of fun weather. Because mountains just do stuff to weather. This thin film of atmosphere that we have over this rapidly rotating planet, as soon as mountains hit, it's just like all kinds of weird stuff happens.
Well, that's the thing, like, because of how the Appalachian Mountains form.
Yep.
They form more narrow up in the top toward Pennsylvania and New York, but they open more flared at the bottom toward Alabama and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, if there's a strong upstream from the of hot air from the Gulf, they just the warm air just shoots up through the middle of the mountain. So it's the reason why we will sometimes, everyone else will get snow, even Virginia on the other side of us, but we won't, because it'll just kind of hit the heat bubble and go over and then reform.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, being a state that's pretty much 100% in the Appalachians, it's a crapshoot, because it could be that somehow the winds from up in New York and Vermont and all that kind of stuff have somehow gotten into the Appalachian Mountains and gone down and cut everything, and we're colder than everybody else, which is nice in the summertime. But in the wintertime, because of how the air patterns work, if there's just if there's a tropical storm forming in the Gulf, it will sometimes spin off and shoot hot air up even stronger up through the Appalachians. So we can be 50 degrees and everybody around us is 20.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the fun kind of schizophrenic nature of the Appalachians. It's one of those things, it's like, the more you kind of learn about how weather here works, it's like, no wonder people were superstitious.
So West Virginia gets a real Marilyn Monroe moment there.
Yeah. It's like it changes within like 15 minutes. And that's not even including when we're having to deal with either winds coming from out the Midwest if there's tornado season, or the winds coming from the East Coast, from Virginia and stuff like that hitting us. It's just, you never know.
West Virginia cut its income tax this week by 10%. Is that what I read?
They passed that a while ago, but I think they may have, but let me double check.
I think it was just in the last week or two.
We're still not as low as a bunch of other states, but we went down more.
I love to hear. I just heard that the income tax went down in West Virginia.
Is it legal to lower taxes? I thought you could only increase them.
That was what got my attention, was that they had passed a bill to lower their.
We did, but and we're progressive, and it's a progressive state income tax. But the highest it usually goes is about 4.82, and that's for people who make over 60.
Oh, there it is.
A year.
The West Virginia Senate passed a 10% personal income tax reduction.
Yep.
4.82 is your top bracket?
Yep, for people who make over 60,000. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we also don't pay sales tax on food.
Well, we don't pay sales tax on food either.
And
prepared food, yes, but groceries, no.
That top bracket is now 3.7%.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're doing.
Say that to people from California. Green.
Yeah, that's that's a lot. I can't remember what the lowest bracket. Well, I mean, the lowest bracket. Well, there's a bunch of exemptions in California. I don't remember what the amount is you have to make before you have to start paying taxes in California. But it's pretty low.
And with how everything is in California, it would confuse the fuck out of me.
I know.
To be honest. Holy crackers! Yeah, you're like, I just looked it up, and it's like anybody who makes 40 to 55,000 in California, single filer or Maryland filer, pays 6%. So at 40,000, you all pay more income tax than we do. than the people who make 60,000.
But listen to this: lowest state income tax rate in California is 1%.
Yeah.
If you make $11,000 a year,
Or you only declare
you
it.
have to pay 1% of that to the state government. Your federal government does not charge you tax at that. You pay no tax at that. You don't even have to file. But California charges 1%. You make $11,000.
That's leadership, Skep. Do you know how hard it is to find new things to tax?
Holy shit!
You know, you
Man,
wake
that's
up,
taxing the pennies on your eyes, man.
you wake up, and you want to do something for the people. So what do? You have to figure out, well, which thing are we going to do, and then how are we going to get money to do it? You know, and it's obviously not coming out of the politician's pocket.
Yeah.
Didn't the EU government people exempt themselves from taxes, or like at least their EU wages were tax exempt?
Yeah, the EU wages.
Of course they are.
Not-
Of course
not-
they are.
Those are like extra things that they get just special. But it's like municipal income.
Of course. Of course.
Well, I mean,
It's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, it's the same group of people that talk about not having monarchies and all this other kind of crap, and then it's like the head of the EU isn't even voted on by the people in the EU. It's only voted on by the politicians. It's like, I think we call that a dictator, ladies and
You have
gentlemen.
to make sure the right person gets in.
Oh yeah, like an old drunkard, I think was the last one who was in.
Yeah.
Sounds like Russia.
Well, it's not like direct democracy's got a real good track record either.
Yeah, no, valid. The problem is that the minute you throw human beings into anything, everything just goes to bullcrap because we're too chaotic. Like as individuals, we're okay, but as group, we're too chaotic.
You said as soon as you throw human beings into anything, and the first word that popped into my head was wood chipper.
There you go.
There's a few of them need to go in there.
No, Mr. Herr Doctor Psychologist, I'm not mentally unstable. The first word association. God. Man, psychologists, I know some of them are really good. I've met a few that are really good. But man, about 90% of the ones I've ever run into are just not really. I can't imagine that they're good at their job. You know,
they go into the business because they want to know what's wrong with them. Seriously, dead serious. And this is take it from somebody who practically minored in social psychology.
Well, social psychology is a slightly different discipline. I'm thinking more, clinical psychology.
You have to have the background in clinical psychology, social psychology. Social psychology is something you build on. Anyway, making a long story short,
Yeah.
it is a psychology is a valid discipline, and it's just tricky. That's all. But you can get good at it, and I've known some people who were good at it.
Mhm.
Most of the people that I see in psychology are people who are trying to find out what is wrong with them. Really, some things been bothering them probably for much of their life, and they want to find out what the hell is wrong with that, and they think the answers are in psychology. They don't realize that what they're doing is pulling another curtain across the problem most of the time. But anyway, how I do. Sorry.
Well, in order to be a good clinical psychologist, what do you need to be? You need to be patient. You need to be a good listener. You need to be able to which means you kind of have to subordinate your ego.
Good active.
You need to have a certain amount of empathy, but not so much that you fall apart every time your patients are in pain. Right? I mean, you need to have all these things. And once you get all of those skills into somebody, the idea that they're going to work as a psychologist, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's probably really hard to get really good people working as psychologists.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Be good psychology. Good psychologists. Gold. They are out there, but you're not going to find them in free mental health clinics.
No. Well, a bunch of people in California, because it's the cheapest, decent healthcare. It's the same people who were taking care of Scott Adams before he died. Kaiser Permanente Medical Group.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah, that's
Kaiser Permanente does offer mental health stuff, but it's almost always going to be, you may get a one-on-one once or twice, but it's almost always going to be group.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
even imagine going to group therapy for something like that. I'm not going to bare my soul to a whole room full of people and somebody who's, working off the tier 1 tech support version of mental health care. And how does that make you feel?
well.
How about you go suck it?
When you're Alcoholics Anonymous, kind of that. And when you walk into Alcoholics Anonymous, you don't know what you're getting, and it's a highly variable thing. I have been to thousands, and I mean thousands. I've chaired thousands
Mm-hmm.
in AA. I've been to meetings all over the world, all across the United States. And what I will tell you is that some groups are good, some groups are awful, and most of them are kind of mediocre and a little bit sad. But you can find good ones, and you can look for there are ways to look for healthy AA groups, and I think there are probably ways to do that with group therapy. I wouldn't write off group therapy instantly, simply because there's too much evidence that it's helped too many people. It might not help you. It might not help me. I don't think I could be in an environment like that. But it does seem to help some others, Harry.
Well, the kinds of things that you're talking about was not really the sort of thing I was thinking of. So, for instance, something involving basically drugs and alcohol, or some kind of addiction, or even overeating, something like that.
Gambling. Yeah.
And gambling, throwing a social component into it actually can be beneficial. But for a lot of things where psychotherapy is useful, a group setting.
What's wrong with me? Why
is
do I
not-
keep getting fired? You know, why do I fight with the police?
Well, I have this friend who doesn't seem to understand why they keep getting whiplash because they keep getting rear-ended, and I'm thinking, man, love you like a brother, but I'm pretty sure you're the common denominator.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
you
this
should.
keeps happening to you,
Why
then
does this bad thing keep happening to me?
right, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like a you problem.
Yeah, and that's always the thing. We as human beings, unless you either have some semblance of a group of people around you that you trust greatly, or have a lot of like self-awareness, we all kind of have blinders on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that can always be the problem of like, is it me? But then you also have the complete opposite problem where some people, because of their own issues, whether it's inherited or through trauma it's gotten, they think everything is their fault. Like legitimately, not in a manipulative way, which is what people pleasers are. People pleasers are manipulators. But anyway, but
That's
that's
absolutely true, by the way.
yeah, because they're manipulating, and I love doing that to people pleasers when they go, well, it's just people. You're manipulating me. I was like, no, you're trying to manipulate everybody else, sweetheart, because that's what people pleasing is.
Oh yeah.
And they just stare at you, and I'm like, haha, fuck you.
No,
but-
anybody ever says anything pleasant to me, I try and crush it.
There you go.
I would like to
But-
address the chat. But go ahead and finish, Serenity.
No, but that's the thing, though, is that you need either good self-awareness, people around you, or a mixture of both to kind of look at you and go, it's you, sweetums. Or when it go, it's not you, sweetheart. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. So let's see.
We've got some people in chat.
We do have some people in chat, and I was noticing that. Well, we have a few. I mean, I don't know how they found us because basically we just sort of appeared like a UFO over the skies of Washington D.C. in a bad movie.
Hunting and hoping, and they found
Yeah.
us.
So we have Jay Blizza 427. Look at me pronouncing things. Silver Raven Wing. Razcord 89-ish. Okay. And I think that's it for tonight. Okay. Yeah, I would. I'm just happy anybody's here, given how the start of the show went. So Silver Ravenwing was saying something like, "I don't want to be in California as I won't move to California as long as Newscomb is governor." God, I get in conversations about him all the time. He's not dumb.
No, he's not.
I think he is a chronic narcissist. You know, just absolutely a narcissist. I don't think he has many deeply felt political opinions.
No,
he is just a pure weather vane. He would do pretty much anything if it thought it would give him long-term power.
Exactly right.
He is
exactly right. He will adjust himself perfectly,
and he's not stupid. He's not stupid.
No.
He's just kind of evil because I think he's kind of amoral.
And he has blind spots. Like, think about the French Laundry thing. If he had that to do over, he would never do that again.
I think the last time I always think of him and Macron. They should just be best buddies. You know, I'm sure they hung out together when he was spending his time in
100%.
Europe. Yeah,
Oh, the
100%.
conversation.
the
would have been
Jupiterian. Yeah.
But the thing is, he's also got to back off on the plastic surgery, because did you see the news report when he was talking about the avalanche that killed a bunch of people? And he's like, I have family and friends in it. The dude's smirking. And it's like, and you can tell that it's not a malicious smirk. It's, I don't realize my mouth is doing this smirk. And it's like, honey, you need to calm down on the plastic surgery. Like, you need to stop.
Well, this makes me sad because you started saying something. This is interesting. You keep saying things and then things pop into my head. You said he needs to lay off the plastic surgery. He was talking about the avalanche. And then I thought you were going to say, and ironically, one side of his face slid down to his chin. I was kind of hoping that you were going to go that direction, but no.
Nope.
He didn't have a flabalanche on one side of his face.
Oh, it will be interesting one day. His plastic surgery will fail, and it'll be funny to watch.
The flabalanches.
The flabalanches.
God, the women get it.
Ozempic face. Actually, that we talked about Ozempic. Well, not just Ozempic, but all of these GLP-1 drugs. And I mentioned there was this doctor. He's continuing to put out really interesting videos, and he actually was talking about the not phenotypes. I guess they're. Why can I not remember? Anyway, basically the types of people who either thrive on these drugs or who suffer poorly, and actually broke it down. You know, and said, these types of people tend to do well. These types of people tend to do poorly. It's as if maybe you shouldn't be able to just mail order this stuff. That maybe actually having a doctor who knows what they're doing makes sure you're not doing yourself harm. Because Ozempic in the being given to the wrong people, and drugs like it seem to have some pretty bad side effects. They have like horrible muscle loss and just all this stuff. And other people take it and they just get healthier. Their heart gets healthier. Their blood sugar gets healthier. They just completely thrive on it. And figuring out ahead of time which class you're going to be in, kind of huge. There's a lot of research going into this because, I mean, obviously, look at all the money. Look at how much money is going into it.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though. How easy is it to catch that you're going to have that problem? If you do have a doctor, like, is there a blood test they can do beforehand and then run it through and see what happens? Or just take the chance?
Well, there are certain types of health problems which are, definitely troublesome. So, like, if you have kidney problems, bad.
That's
what's like
certain types of high blood pressure, bad. It really has to do with just sort of how much reserve do you have in terms of muscle and fitness. Because if you're just not in a good, healthy place and you end up taking these drugs, it's enough to just cause a cascade failure of everything in you. It's like your heart's going to be worse. Everything's just going to be worse. You're going to lose a bunch of muscle and you're going to look like you're dying. You're going to look 10 years older instead of 10 years younger. And we've seen those people. Sorry, I just just state of the art of medicine. God, there's so much great stuff on YouTube. Just that's one good thing about the whole pandemic thing is it really helped the medical YouTube community grow.
It did, but there's I side eye a lot of stuff just for. Like, if you're a doctor who uploads to YouTube every once in a while, cool. But there's so many doctors who it's becoming blatantly obvious that they're getting not just monetary benefits from posting on YouTube, like, because they get the parasocial fan base who gets creepy. And it's like, if you're posting more than every once in a while, I start not trusting it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sheer fact of like, I don't know if you're saying it because you're actually trying to help or if you're trying to placate your audience. And that's where I get a little hanky about stuff sometimes.
Yeah, you need
It's
critical
because-
thinking, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, though I digress. Let's see.
How much you
sorry.
ask Skep how he is?
I'm getting there.
Okay. We get
Well,
distracted
the thing is, I
sometimes,
know a
it's
lot of
fine.
stuff's going on with Skip, but I don't know how much stuff he wants to talk about. So I'm actually trying to be mindful. Of the things that are happening to you right now, Skip, are there any that you would like to talk about right now?
Just that I have another grandchild.
Mhm.
And, little Buck, calling him, dropped
Yeah.
into the world the other day.
Mhm.
And other than that, I don't have too much to report. It's been slice of life down here. Life goes along pretty much as it has in the past.
And you're probably still planning your garden and trying to decide how much you want to do and don't know
Oh,
yet.
No, I actually went out there and worked in the garden. I mean, since Brenda had serious surgery, which I've shared with everybody
Mhm.
recently, and so she's still healing up, and she has like a 600 pound, 600. It's about 600, I estimate, of compost that has to be shoveled and turned every day. And she normally does this. That's the person I'm married to. And
Mhm.
she wouldn't let me help her. But now I get to help her. The grandkids get to help her a little bit. But she is Brenda is normally in charge of the compost and all that. She's actually the general of the yard. She's the one who tells me what hard thing to go do. she's the planner, and that's the way it works best. I'm sure I may have ideas about it, but I have enough intelligence to keep my mouth.
Well,
No sass
that's
from you.
well, that's one of the strong things that men often are good at. Pick a leader and then go. It's like,
Go.
oh, am I leading?
Follow.
Am I leading?
Right.
Am I following? Just tell me. I'm good either way.
That's right.
And if she's willing to lead competently, obviously
yeah.
from all she seems to know what she's doing.
I love it.
You're happy to just fall in line and get stuff done. Why not?
Absolutely. But
That's how shit gets
went
done.
out. She was going to go out there and shovel all 600 pounds of that
Mhm.
compost 2 days after her surgery. And I said, no, do the first 550 and I'll do the last 50 pounds.
Mhm.
I felt like I should show some.
Were you going to help her titrate and have her do an extra 10 pounds each day until she's back to full?
That's actually.
She go 550, then 560. Just, help her ease into it because
That's a good idea.
Yeah. because you're a good husband.
It's the loving
Wow.
thing. Really the Christian thing.
Wow.
I'm so glad she can't hit me right now. Okay.
That's it. I'm telling Skep's wife on both of you.
Yeah. Well, she knows.
She knows.
She knows.
She's way ahead of that.
I already accused her of having competent leadership skills. What more do you want? So many things happened this week. I guess Trump's in the mood to declassify things, so we're going to have some more UFO stuff coming out. Okay, we'll see. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't care anymore. I don't. I'm like, unless you have video of the little green men coming down shaking hands, I don't care.
I want physical evidence.
Yeah.
There will be no physical evidence because it is Dr. Feynman explained it's physically impossible for anyone to get here.
Well, I wouldn't want to.
That is that.
Well, that's
And there you
as
go.
far as Feynman understands the whole principle of the system. What
the hell did he know?
What did that guy know?
What did he know?
No, stop it. That's
No.
not what I'm saying. You know I'm not saying that.
No, I know.
I'm just teasing.
No,
Yeah.
I know you are.
I have a thing bookmarked, which I go to every now and then. It's my go-to thing, which is Sean Carroll talking about Dr. Sean Carroll, who sort of is sitting in Feynman's seat not necessarily filling his shoes, but he's sitting in Feynman's seat right now. And he gave this lecture of where you're sort of looking at like, here's what we know, and here's what we know we don't know, and here's all the different spaces of things that we don't even know we don't know. You start just sort of looking at the sum total of human knowledge. There's a hell of a lot of stuff we don't know. Just tons and tons of stuff that we don't know. And I'm fine with that. I don't lose any sleep over that at all. What I did lose some sleep over is a couple nights ago, I had a dream that one of the local mountains turned into a volcano and tried to kill me.
Just you, Harry. Not anybody else. Just you.
Well, me and people I care about.
I know.
Tried to kill imaginary girlfriend too, you know.
Oh no, can't lose her.
Well, not in the pyroclastic flow, you know. How romantic, hug, and then just they'll find you later like in Pompeii. Forever together. No. That's okay. But we were talking about disclosure and all that sort of stuff. And Prince Andrew got arrested. Well, I guess former Prince Andrew. He's been effectively drummed out of the English royal family. He's...
You know, it's a weird thing. He's not a prince anymore.
That's why I corrected myself. He's not.
He's still in line of succession.
Yeah, he hasn't been stripped of the lines of succession. He's only been stripped of the title.
Right.
Well, he's not living on royal properties. He's not getting a stipend. He's not getting any of that stuff. He's been sort of, they've put as much distance there as they could, and now he got taken in and booked and, of course, released. But it's kind of a big deal.
It is, but at the same time, if I remember correctly, and others will correct me, I'm sure Skep will correct me if I'm wrong, but Andrew was the Queen's favorite of her children? Or was it the other? Was it the other boy that wasn't
definitely.
Charles?
He definitely was the favorite. You're right.
And that kind of makes me like, side-eye the Queen just a tiny bit. It's like, bitch, blind. What did you know?
He was just blind.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
You do that with your kids. You just you can't see him. And she loved him, doted on him, excused everything. Charles was getting madder and madder and madder at the Queen doted on Andrew. Evidently, that was a source of real frustration. I
like Prince Edward. I've always liked Prince Edward. He's the youngest baby. But yeah, no, it's just, it was one of those things where you're just sitting there going, well, thank goodness she passed, because that would have made her pass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, royalty aside, you know, people say, well, we want to see some sort of accountability. Now, him just being charged, that's not really accountability. Him being stripped of as much as he's been stripped of, that's a little bit of accountability, but
he's going to go to jail.
You think he's going to go to jail?
I really think that they want to say, hey, we're doing something. All right, this is beyond the pale, and we're going to show you what happens when you go beyond the pale. What this guy is going to find out is he has no friends. Andrew has no friends right now. The only reason he has anybody to talk to is because of who he used to be.
There's also the whole fact of Keir Starmer has not been winning very many things in the English citizens' eyes as of late. So going after Andrew may get him a little bit of goodwill. So that's part of the reason why they're going to go after him so hard. It's not because they actually are like, yes, no, absolutely, he's guilty, he must pay. It's like, how do I get public credit points? And that's going to be the real reason Keir Starmer's is going to go after him. That's the only reason why he's even ended up arrested. Keir Starmer was in a better political position. They just would have been like, oh, he's too old, we can't do anything now. And they just were left alone.
Starmer's motivations escape me. What
people thought Johnson was bad and Johnson wasn't good. But Starmer, God almighty.
I really wanted to like Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I did too. And then he just turned into a bumbling idiot. And it's like,
I mean, kind of on a personal level, he seems like he would be a fun guy to work with.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy to go to the pub with. that's my thing. Like, woo, let's get
Just get some champagne corks and some mallets. Let's play whiff waff. That's
yeah,
he was hilarious.
shuffleboard. Let's play some shuffleboard.
Yeah, whiff waff. I know I played that clip. No, there was something. I think it was in the Onion or no, the Babylon Bee, where they were saying that Prince Andrew was going to convert to Islam in prison and then get let go. That's kind of a problem. If you look at, oh God, do you want to go there? Yeah, sure, I'll go there.
Do it.
You look at the stuff that the English law enforcement just overlooked. Oh, 13-year-old girl abused by gangs of ethnic minorities. Well, we wouldn't want to appear racist. Just tens, dozens, hundreds of cases that they looked the other way on
Yep.
because they didn't want to look like the bad people.
Yep.
And then we find out about, Prince Andrew, who went to some island and then did some things with some, underage people, right? I mean, I don't know how underage. I don't know the details of it.
Yeah,
But it's like one old white dude with a bunch of money and some number of these sort of indiscretions, but they're going to go after him. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they overlook hundreds of cases of abuse. And then they go after this one guy and we're all going to pat ourselves on the back for being moral. It's like, I'm sorry, you got a real debt to take care of on these other cases.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
as far as we know, didn't even happen on English soil. The other stuff happened on British soil.
Yeah.
And they won't do anything about it. And it's like, you're not like, I myself believe Dahmer and his faction, whatever, is doing this to try to look good. But at the same time, there are enough people with some level of intelligence to go, but you haven't done anything about Birmingham. Why are you, you haven't done anything? Like, why is it this stuff? You should go to jail. Absolutely. Andrew should be prosecuted. But at the same time, it's like, it didn't happen on British soil. It wasn't here. We have decades of crap on this other stuff and you still haven't done anything.
Sorry, I was looking at Assassin's comment. We're talking about my nemesis, not my girlfriend, that crazy-eyed woman from the medical testing thing. Hi, Sora.
Sora.
Oh,
She's connecting to audio. She's connected to audio. Hi, Sora.
I can't hear you, Sora, if you're talking.
Things are going poorly.
Everyone have technological difficulty.
That's okay. She'll sort it out eventually. Once she makes a noise, we'll go to her.
Yeah, she's
yeah. So I didn't want to spend the whole time talking about this whole Epstein thing, but man, stuff's getting interesting. Yeah.
We'll see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah. Why not disclosure?
I want it to, but we'll see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah, this is fine. Let's see. So I mentioned earlier that I know you guys may remember this, that Highway 1, I showed that stretch by Big Sur, how it had been closed for a few years and it had finally reopened. I think that was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I said, yay, it's finally reopened.
Did the Avalanche close it again?
Yeah, you could sort of see that coming. Caltrans closes portion of Highway 1 until further notice after rock slides. It was a good 3 weeks that they had.
Woo, we're open. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where's that stretch, Harry?
Hey, well, it's south of Point Lobos.
South of Point Lobos.
So between Nepenthe, Big Sur, and Point Lobos, I think, or it might be south of Nepenthe and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Sora is not able to connect audio. Well, if you type things into this chat, I'll do my best. No, I won't.
That might be a me thing, Harry, not a you thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Harry, and I'm not trying. I will pick on California a little bit.
I'm picking on California. I could just not bring this up if I was trying to be an apologist for California.
That's such a good example of what California is. It's closed down. We fixed it. Woo! Yay! Open. We gone.
Well, the mighty Pacific Ocean is indifferent to what we want.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. Weather. It's a big ass ocean. We get real weather, and it just doesn't care about our little road.
Does not care.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ocean does not care about you.
Nope. Mama Nature don't give 2 flying F's.
All right. So So that happened, and then this happened.
Hi, Jack.
Driver moves barriers, gets stuck in mudslide on a closed Highway 1 near Regent Slide. So when the okay, well, here, let me see if I can play this.
Highway 1, known for its scenic vista, brings tourists from all over to visit. On Tuesday, drivers were turned away from some parts of the Big Sur coast, with Caltrans picking up mud and rocks from the road.
It's a little bit disappointed because I want to show my parents the famous #1 highway. It's called the most beautiful highway, right? So now we are just gonna turn around and go back to the 101s.
Messages and directional signs are in place to alert travelers in advance of the closure.
Yeah, so people who lived there were kind of like, oh, no, no, no. So they got out of their cars and started just throwing rocks out of the way by hand.
It's like, we wanted this back. Bitch, what is wrong with you?
We had 3 weeks, and so then somebody decided, oh, we're just going to move the barriers, and then drove into the mudslide and got stuck.
Which is what you get. That's such a California thing to do. It's like, screw you and your barriers. And like, I'm just thinking what it was Virginians would do, which was go, no, you can't see the road from it, can't do it. Nope.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Well, I mean, surprising nobody. Well, this is good. I've been following a little bit of what's been going on in New York, and there's just too much to cover. It is makes me feel good about not being in New York. So Mamdani taps ex-Biden official to audit New York Police Department, other agencies for sanctuary law lapses. So when you want to deal with anything peripherally involved with immigration problems, what do? You go and get somebody from the Biden administration to come in and help you make sure that the policies of your city, that nobody's violating them, because that would be bad if any of the illegal aliens who are committing crimes got rounded up. So let's see, Bida Mostofi, who served as senior official at U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services under President Joe Biden, meaning, here, let me hold the door for you, will spearhead the audits in her new role as special advisor to Mamdani's first deputy mayor, according to 2 people with knowledge of the initiatives who were granted anonymity to discuss internal matters. In addition to identifying loopholes in compliance protocols, Mostofi is not ruling out that audits may involve crafting new, more severe penalties for city workers who violate sanctuary regulations.
As in people who tip off ICE?
Yeah.
Oh, get F.
Yeah. Now, he just makes some of the best choices. I mean, if you want to see what he's really like, ignore the words revealed preference. Let's see what his actions actually are. So this was from a little bit ago. So I think this is from December 31st, right? So Mayor-elect Mamdani, controversial pick, ex-Al-Qaeda lawyer named New York City's top legal counsel. You guys heard about this? So somebody who actually defended an Al-Qaeda terrorist is now Mamdani's chief legal counsel.
I mean, they'd be the one that you'd want to defend you if you were Mamdani.
Yeah, Mamdani shared on Tuesday that he selected Ramzi Qasem for the highest legal position in the Big Apple because of his remarkable experience and his commitment to defending those too often abandoned by our legal system. Qasem's experience includes serving under the Biden administration as a senior policy advisor for immigration on the White House Domestic Policy Council. Qasem represented Columbia student Mohammed Khalil, a Palestinian who was arrested by ICE earlier this year for his alleged involvement in anti-Israeli protests. It just goes on. He has a stunning legal career.
One thing you'll notice about Mamdani is that he is surrounding himself with anti-Semites. Even the Jewish people he hires are suicide Jews who hate Israel, but hate Jewish people. And a bizarre chain of beliefs. That's how he gets his Jewish quota done. He looks for those people who are so liberal they're actually against their own best interest, against their own religion. And there are those out there. They're crazy people. There's a lot of them in New York. He has his pick. But the rest of everybody else that he's going after, not only there's nobody neutral about the Jews, Judaism, Israel. They're all positively against it. Every single one of them he's hiring. Look at their individual backgrounds. They're known anti-Semites. Every single one of them. in any position of importance.
Yep.
Keep an eye on that.
Out-group preference. It's a thing.
Yep.
Telling you, the mob's coming back.
Yeah.
Mob's here.
What I mean is the like the old school mob that took control of New York,
like Boss Tweed,
like the ones who actually defended New York when the leadership was incompetent, and like that's what I mean. Not that they were good people, but the ones who actually like had the control. Like, it's going to be Russian, it's going to be Jewish, it's going to be Italian mob are just going to take over New York City because they're hemorrhaging cops too. And he's also nixed the plan that Eric Adams had put to have God knows how many more thousands of police officers hired, and he's completely nixed it. So for a city that's the size of New York, I think right now they only have 34,000 cops.
Aren't there like 11 million people who live in New York City?
About 8. It's
okay.
But yeah, no, it's like pray for New York City. This is going back to what it was 70s and 80s.
Yeah, well,
not in a good way.
This is what people wanted.
You're getting what you voted for. That's on you all. And if you all didn't want it and you didn't vote, this is on you.
Yeah.
Watch as New York first becomes Philadelphia, then it will become Baltimore. We'll wind up Detroit. Watch and see.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Detroit, okay. Detroit police chief plans to terminate 2 officers who contacted Border Patrol amid traffic stops. So they went back and looked at body cam footage and found that in a couple instances, 2 different instances, the officers actually sent for translators from the feds who happened to work for Customs and Border Control. And so, but in both these cases, these people got arrested. And these were violent criminals that they were looking into. Well, in one case, at least, it was a bad person, one of the bad people.
Yeah. These 2 officers are praying this guy fires.
Yeah, these
will have more money than God from the subway.
Yeah, but this is the sort of thing we were talking about in New York, right? Is finding ways to stop them from doing this, penalizing them. So the city of Detroit says there's absolutely no reason for you to ask for translating services from the federal government. We have a firm that we've paid money to, and they're here on contract, and you should use our people. And I'm sure there's no funny business going on in that contract, right? No. Chicago has a long tradition of clean politics. No graft, no corruption. Yeah.
Well, Daly used to get up and say, there is no corruption in the city of Chicago. There's no corruption here. We do things honestly.
Oh, hold on. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, Harry, did you see what's possibly going to happen to the Chicago Bears? Is that on your list?
The Bears? No. What's happening to the Bears?
Moving to Indiana.
That it's up in the air a little bit still now, but that's allegedly what's going to happen. Is they're going to move to Indy. It's like literally across the straight border, so it's only like another 30 to 40 minutes from Chicago.
That's excellent.
Indiana, which is a red state, has promised to build this amazing like football stadium area for places for food trucks and all this kind of stuff. And I think they've actually, Jeff will correct me, but because he's probably heard it too, that they stopped a law from going through in Indiana to make it harder. That would make it harder for them to do it. So it's kind of set up to kind of go that way. So and the mayor is none too happy about it. Since you were talking about Chicago, that's what it reminded me.
So Sora's working on her audio.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
So did you finally get snow?
Oh, well, like for 2 hours.
Oh.
And then the sun came out and it was as if there was no snow.
That's like homeopathic snow.
Like, here's a little bit of a dusting and goodbye.
It's like a dry martini. Just go, snow. Just whisper it over the top of the glass.
Just a breath.
People act like making martinis is hard. It's not hard. It's a really easy thing to do. Anybody who can't make a decent martini should not be a bartender. Though I digress. So One more immigration story just to get them out of the way since it's right next to it in the spreadsheet. All truckers and bus drivers will be required to take commercial driver's license tests in English.
Damn right.
It wasn't before?
It wasn't.
Nope.
Oh.
They were allowed to take it in Spanish, French, and I think 2 other languages. Spanish being the big other one.
Well, California.
At least Spanish is like your second sort of language.
California offered tests in 20 other languages.
That's what it was. And like Florida even had a bunch of different languages too, but they nixed that too for every driver's license and all that kind of stuff. Not just CDLs.
Oh,
driving a truck competently is hard. It's really hard.
Well, also the fact that like the last few months of truck driving accidents where it was blatantly someone who's not an American or someone who hasn't been an American citizen for long and barely speaks the language, it doesn't help. There was no way to hell anybody was going to stop this from going through because the optics of it are horrendous. But continue. I apologize.
No, that's okay. So since we have Sora, I can mention this. Too bright headlight debate heats up, but data points to a deadlier threat. Canada and U.S. politicians seek nationwide headlight glare rules. So it looks like somebody in your neck of the woods has been putting... So Vancouver City Councilor Sean Orr introduced a motion to address complaints from drivers who feel dazzled, distracted, and maybe even momentarily convinced they're being abducted by aliens when driving at night. National Post reports. Across the border in the U.S., Representative Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, oh, what a terrible name, raised similar concerns last year. Now, the long and short of it is they have looked into this, and as annoying as the new LED headlights are, because sometimes they're not aligned right, they're brighter than the old incandescents they replaced. And nobody likes driving into that stuff. It doesn't make me happy either. But far and away, if you look at the accidents that have been caused, you almost never see accidents caused by that. You know what you do see accidents caused by? Poorly maintained roads, poorly maintained shoulders, and people who don't have enough light coming out of their headlights. But the politicians are always looking for something to have a cause, right? We need a cause. Let's find something that annoys people that we can make a new law about. As far as I can tell, there's no serious problem with the overly bright headlights other than the fact that they kind of piss me off. Opinions? Anybody? Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know. Just I hate them so much.
I do too.
I want to be that somebody made it was a funny short. I don't know if I saw it here or it was just in my scrolling where they jerry-rigged a mirror onto their into the back window. So basically it would reflect people's headlights back at them.
Nice.
I'll blind you, bitch. I'll blind you.
And I was like, there's days where I'm like, I'm gonna do this so badly.
Well,
because you can flip your rear mirror, right? To have the anti-glare, but you can't do your side mirrors. Nope. And if you have a ginormous truck that it sits exactly at the perfect angle, you're blinded.
He said ginormous. That's a great word, isn't it? I mean, it's a great not word. I really love ginormous.
What's like, I know it's either Audi or Volvo, I think. They've been talking about for years having the dynamic headlights. And basically what it is that it's a sensor that's out in front of the car. And it senses people are there. So because it's the string LED headlights, where it's the little individual LEDs, it turns specific ones off so this way they're not getting glared by your lights.
Mercedes has that.
Okay.
Mercedes definitely has that. So it will, once it sends oncoming light from, say if you're driving down a road where there is no light, so it will automatically go up, and then the moment it catches light from the oncoming cars, it will dim back down to normal. So it'll switch. So even if it's just like one, so it'll catch the light and then it's very cool.
Yeah. What you're referring to is adaptive headlights. And I think Cadillac started with them and Mercedes a long time ago, and they're becoming more common. There's even a motorcycle, you can't get it in the US, but it's in Europe, that has adaptive headlights. So if you're going through a turn it will maneuver the headlights so that they point where the turn is going rather than going straight. And they have the same tricks that you're talking about. So adaptive headlights are great because they put the light where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And not where it doesn't need to be, like in people's eyes. So yeah, you guys are 100% correct.
But the problem is that those kind of lights are never on the giant F-350 trucks where their lights are right directly in your fucking back window.
Yeah.
And
Truck,
perfectly with your side mirrors and just glaring at you. And you're just like, I'm going blind.
You have heard that song, the Truck Yeah song, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. I figured you probably had.
I live in, of course I've heard it. What?
Yeah. See, it's funny because it sounds like a bad word, but it's not. Okay. Let's see. So we did that. Transportation. Let's see. Oh, well, I have one for Geodes, but he's not here. So let's just pretend that Geodes is here. Crabs are producing nanoplastics that could quickly move into the seafood we eat, study finds. So it turns out that
the microplastics were already in the seafood and we were fucked anyway.
Yeah. So this seems like a threat, doesn't it, Skep? Did we lose Skep?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So this seems like a problem. Crabs. So basically, hermit crabs, what they're doing, or sorry, fiddler crabs, what they're doing is they're chewing on plastics and then making them into smaller plastics. And this is a problem. I mean, I hope you're taking this seriously. If all the fiddler crabs start chewing on old Dasani bottles, we are in a world of hurt. I'm going to lose sleep over this. Forget volcanoes. This is the new #1 threat in the threat down.
I love the star.
Yeah. The crabs accumulated microplastics at levels 13 times higher than in their surrounding sediment, with most particles found in their digestive system and gills. Let's see. While the crab's activity helps fragment plastics faster than sunlight or waves alone, it also produces nanoplastics that can enter the food chain and potentially affect human health. You'll end up within your testicles, and then you'll have plastic testicles. Yeah, it's terrible. All right, well, enough of that. See, if Geodes was here, he would say that's a really good article, but he's not here. So
that's a really good article.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So somebody pointed this out. That's not normal. Nuclear-powered USS Gerald R. Ford sails the Atlantic toward the Strait of Gibraltar. You know what's...
Harry,
sorry.
An article if you're showing it.
Sorry. Well, sometimes I swap them because I'm not sure if things are going to load. It's hard to juggle all these screens. Okay. Now, this is a big-ass carrier. Is it the only Ford-class carrier we have, or did we get a second one yet?
It's the only one.
It's the only one, but there's another one being constructed. So this is the new badass one. What's unique about this is they're in the ocean heading out with the transponder on so that everybody knows exactly where they are. They're not saying operational security and turning it off. They're like, no, we want you to know exactly where we're going and how fast we're going, and you can tell, so you can have an estimate, Iran, of when we're going to be there. So it's doing 20 knots, heading for the for the Straits of Gibraltar, transponder on. Supposedly that is not normal.
That is not normal.
Yeah.
That is not normal.
Okay. It sounds like they're trying to send a message to me.
I do love the fact, as speaking of Ford class carriers,
Mm-hmm.
I do love all the names for all the Ford class carriers that are coming out in the coming years. The next one's going to be the John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
And then the one after that's going to be Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that is Doris Miller.
Okay, I'm dumb. Who the hell is Doris Miller?
Doris Miller is a name you should say with reverence, my friend.
I don't know it though, unfortunately. So
hero of Pearl Harbor.
He's the black
Navy cook. Navy cook. You
okay.
Pearl Harbor. Look at it. Just let Harry read it.
No, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Yeah. Not during the show though.
Dory Miller is the way you'll find it.
But the last two are William J. Clinton. That boat's going to be, and then George W. Bush. Those are the line of ones that are coming out.
Nice. No, I know a lot about Pearl Harbor, probably more than most people, but it's just not ringing a bell, and I don't know why.
Because you forgot his name. When you read the story, you'll go, "Oh, of course."
Of course.
You will.
Okay.
You will. I know that you will because I know you've read this story.
Well, I'm always surprised by the things I don't know. Because every day I wake up and go, man, I didn't know that. Stuff sneaks up on me all the time.
Did you watch the Pearl Harbor movie, Harry?
Which one?
The big one that came out several years ago. The one that had like Ben Affleck and all of them.
But that was the one with Kate Beckinsale, right?
Yep.
And I only say that because she really didn't suit the role.
Agree. Well, Cuba Gooding Jr. played Dory Miller. I
actually enjoyed the movie they made about Midway more. As a movie, and from a historical perspective, I thought that was better. The thing about Pearl Harbor is there's so much that's assumed but not said, and there are a lot of moving pieces to the whole Pearl Harbor thing, and a lot of conjecture. There's less guessing in terms of the history of Midway. The main thing is just the degree to which we had cracked purple and the other ciphers that the Japanese were using.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I find the Battle of Coral Sea is fascinating too. Pretty much everything involving naval warfare in World War II is fascinating. But
I just love seeing how many of the Japanese ships. That's
yep. All right. Excuse me. We're all a very healthy bunch today. Let's see. What were we doing? Okay, so we're talking about that. I'm sure there will be more to talk about in the whole Iran situation. I kind of hope not a lot more. I'd much rather they back down than we end up getting into a big conflict. It was kind of nice for a long time saying, well, Trump isn't the guy who starts conflicts.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I'm sad for the people because they're just being like, it's just not like, it's that whole thing of like, you don't want to get involved, but at the same time, it's like how many people have to die kind of thing.
I'm sorry, I don't want them having nukes. I just don't.
No, I'm not saying that, Harry.
No, but I think that's the real reason. The humanitarian thing is, I think, probably secondary in terms of the reasons why we're doing it. It's sort of like the war of northern aggression, as one of my friends from the South calls it. That started out as an economic conflict more than anything else, and then the whole slavery issue was brought in to sort of bolster the position of the North.
Yeah,
and we set them up with Fort Sumter. I mean, it's like we just waved a red flag in front of them, and they in the South just rose up and decided to just take the bait like a bunch of morons. All they had to do was not go after Fort Sumter, and they probably would still be a separate country.
But they were under such economic pressure. The big money down south was really being pressed by 1840.
They could have just ignored Sumter. They could have ignored Sumter.
That's absolutely right. That was just the thing that kicked off the powder keg.
That's what gave the North the rationalization to go and retake the South.
Right, that's true. But the powder keg was the economic situation between the North and the South, where the South was, having to do a lot of investment, doing a lot of production, and wasn't realizing enough return to almost not be a going concern in some parts of the South. It was really failing down there. That's what drove them to war. That's what caused all those attitudes to congeal into hatred for the North. That wasn't a natural thing.
Well, that's why I said it started out as a war about economics.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
We're
agreeing.
Yeah.
We're agreeing. Sometimes you talk to people and it sounds like they're saying things like, it's like, I hear what you're saying. It sounds like you're disagreeing with me. It's like, no, we're actually very much on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. Utterly supportive of what you said.
Well, not that I know everything about the Civil War, not by a long shot. Let's see. So we're going to skip the cooking things because functional is not here. Something, I've been saying that San Francisco's trying not to suck. I mean, compared to New York.
They're trying.
They're seriously trying.
Their new mayor.
Mayor Lurie signs legislation to advance the Reset Center and combat public drug use on San Francisco streets. So here's an idea. Instead of just taking people who are using drugs in public and then processing them and letting them go and giving them clean needles and sending them on their way. How about we give them an option instead of incarceration that we actually take them in and get them clean? I know. It's the thing that everybody's been saying they should actually do. And that's what they're trying to do in San Francisco. They literally just signed a bill to try to do this. So it says the opening of the Reset Center builds on Mayor Lurie's work to combat the fentanyl crisis and get drugs and drug users off of San Francisco streets. The mayor improved and expanded the city's Journey Home program to help reconnect people with loved ones. You know, that's good. Get family support, right? Now it's legislation in partnership with Assemblymember Catherine Stefani to support recovery for people with serious mental illness. Early in his administration, okay, so it's a whole list of things he did. But the gist of it is they're trying to actually like cure people instead of just letting them run around and use drugs in the street. They're trying, and business is going back to downtown to Union Square. A lot of things seem to be looking up. If I had to like buy stock in a city, I would buy stock in San Francisco way over New York.
San Francisco is correctly valued. New York needs to come down a little.
I don't think.
And then I'll recommend it for a buy.
Well, they've made so many mistakes. I don't think San Francisco is ever going back to what it was, but it isn't going to turn into Detroit.
No, it won't. I don't think so. There's just too much goodness in California, and it's better than New York. California is a better place than New York.
Yep.
Across the board.
Yeah, you can have that title, New York City. Have fun.
Yeah. Big Apple.
Speaking of I told you so, California gas prices surged 40 cents in just 2 weeks as impact of refinery closures weighs.
Nicely.
Yeah.
Got rid of those refineries. Nasty refineries are gone, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they also just put a fine on the Benicia refinery that they're referring to. You know, might as well fine them on the way out the door, right?
Sure.
But this is a fun little fact. Remember we talked about was it the Jones Act? The one that that controls shipping within U.S. ports? Wasn't it the Jones Act? Skep?
Jones.
Yeah, the Jones Act. Okay. So what they're doing is, since we're losing a bunch of our refining capacity, why not get gasoline from other parts of the United States? Well, the problem is there's no pipeline, so you have to put it on a big old boat. I know it's a ship. And you have to take it from wherever you're refining it and send it to California so that then we have gasoline. But because of the Jones Act, which says that kind of transport has to happen with U.S. flagged and U.S. crewed ships.
It's the Merchant Marine Act.
It's
1920 is actually the act. Jones Act is slang.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're taking the gasoline, they're putting it on non-U.S. ships, sending it to the Bahamas, and then that ship from the Bahamas sails to California. Because it's cheaper to do that than it is to ship it from one part of the U.S. to California.
It's great for the Bahamas. That's unbelievable.
Isn't that just like the best thing you've ever heard?
That just makes me happy.
Oh, God.
Every time I put gasoline in my car's gas tank, I'm just going to feel like a little marimba beat. You know, it's just going to be
a little Bahamian thing going on.
Oh, my God.
I'm gasoline from America. I want to go back to America.
Yeah,
okay.
Puerto Rico.
Does it start smelling tropical instead of gassy?
Yeah, exactly. It smells like
pineapple.
It smells like that coconut scented suntan lotion.
Tropics.
Hawaiian tropics.
Lotion, yeah.
It smells like margaritas on a Tuesday.
Yes, it's so nice. Okay, so
Assassin. That's the sadness. I want to go there. It's such a lovely place.
Who, the Bahamas or California?
No, California.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's another great idea coming out of California. An assassin is going to love this so much. This is the perfect story for Assassin. Okay.
Everyone get ready.
Okay, buckle up, Assassin. You're going to love this.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
California lawmaker wants to hard code 3D printers with firearm blocking technology.
Fuck off.
Good luck with that popcorn. We'll see how that goes.
So how the hell is this even going to work? It's like you're making something, and then the software is going to go, I don't know, it looks kind of gunny to me.
Well, that's the people who make
just throw an
Warhammer
error.
figures.
Yeah.
The Warhammer figures have guns.
But they're little
bigger
guns.
Ones have big, well, there's big figures, Harry. Like, there's big ones.
I don't... I'm not
lot of
convinced this is technically possible.
I don't know how you could. Like, you'd have to put software, but we all know the techies would find a way around the software.
Well, they've solved that problem. They're going to make it illegal for you to subvert it.
Yes, because that stopped people from doing drugs in California.
It's like having a gun. It's like having a gun-free zone, right? So,
as we've seen proven by the guy who took out the Japanese guy who took out the Japanese politician, you kind of don't need to 3D print all of it.
So, Assembly Member Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, that's a lovely name, announced legislation to prevent the proliferation of 3D printed guns, which can be untraceable and obtained without going through an official supplier. That's because that's the important part. You got to get everything from an official supplier. Bauer-Cahan, a Democrat, I know, go figure, also pointed to a case where police arrested a man in Sonoma County, California, as part of an investigation into the manufacturing of illegal guns. Police recovered 3 3D printers along with 157 handguns, many of which appear to be 3D printed lower receivers for the firearms. I know, I was shocked too. Why does that one say Patool? P-A-T-O-O-L? I don't know. Why not write stuff on your guns? No, this is just stupid. I don't see technically how this is going to work. So it's let's see here. This is why Adafruit, they make all kinds of great computer stuff for people who make stuff. A marketplace for do-it-yourself.
That says Patooey.
Patooey?
Yeah, it's them going, Patooey.
Oh, okay. Patooey.
That's
okay.
the joke.
Got it. Sorry. It's why Adafruit, a marketplace for do-it-yourself computer parts, is criticizing the legislation, saying it appears to call for a state-maintained roster of approved makes and models for 3D printers. Yeah, that's exactly what it calls for. If your printer isn't on the list by March 1st, 2029, it can't be sold. In addition, knowingly disabling or circumventing the blocking software is a misdemeanor. Yeah, this doesn't even work technically. I don't see how this can work. Skep, what do you think? I don't think this is technically possible. Do you?
It just sounds silly.
It does.
Absolutely impossible. How do you even approach that problem?
Use AI.
Yeah, use AI.
Hey, do you remember that time in the cave with the shadows when you were hanging out with Plato?
Yeah.
And you were talking about like basically the theory of forms.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know if it's a chair? Could be a stool. Could be a chair.
That's right. Or it could be something within your perception that it could be a snake as far as you go.
Yeah, you're dealing with the kind of people who looked at a giraffe and said camelopard. Yeah, good job.
Camelopard.
Good job. Good job with your taxonomy.
It's
job, Sparky.
Green Badger Outdoors
That's
in
pretty funny.
Chat points out Second Amendment unavailable for comment. It's like all anybody has to do is try to do this as a Second Amendment thing, and it'll at least hold it up in court for a while. Like this is like the state officials trying to do the you can't be straight laws, where it's just the performative crap. Like you all can't even get after people to not do drugs. Like what makes you think you're gonna go after 3D printer people?
This is just insanely stupid. Because like I said, I don't think it's even technically possible.
Yeah, it's mostly performative. It's another performative thing. It's like so this way they can go, see, I tried to stop it. And it's like, tried to stop what?
Yeah,
not had any crimes in the States that have been done by a 3D printed gun yet.
No, it'll be fine. What you do is every time somebody goes to print something, right? It takes the model and it sends it off to a supercomputer that's owned by the state, and then AI analyzes it and decides, okay, does that look like a GUN to you or does it not? It's fine. It's fine. This is totally workable and not the rantings of an insane person at all.
110%, good sir.
Yeah.
110%. Like it's like it's like everything, Harry. It's like California, like you get some good stuff, like with the San Francisco mayor. You get some good stuff, and then some stupid ass from behind just walks up behind you with a cast iron skillet and just goes, wham,
Well,
right back down again.
to be fair, anybody can sue anybody for any reason, right? And any stupid person in law in the government can introduce legislation for any reason. I'm mostly just having fun at this person's expense. If this ends up actually going to a vote and becoming law, I'm going to do a double or triple facepalm, because it's just
At
like,
that point, I'd buy a 3D printer.
yeah, that's just stupid. Doesn't make any sense. So we all like religious freedom, right? Within reason. So the beautiful town of Los Gatos, actually a really great town, Los Gatos, birthplace of Apple Computer, fantastic real estate. I love Los Gatos. It is a great place to live.
Absolutely.
It's a really nice town. It does tend to get really hot in the summer up against the hills there. It's like usually like 10 or 15 degrees warmer than the rest of the Bay Area. It gets warm, but Los Gatos is a fantastic town. Well, I guess there used to be a Seventh-day Adventist church there in a residential area. Not much went on. There aren't that many of them. And it ended up turning into a mosque right before the pandemic. And now they're trying to get things changed because, you want to have prayers 5 times a day. And in this residential neighborhood, there's cars coming and going and going and coming and always too soon. And the the whole thing, I don't know if they're doing calls to prayer on the loudspeakers, but I'm generally in favor of religious freedom. But the idea you're just going to move into some neighborhood and completely disrupt everything kind of strikes me as wrong.
Religious freedom was never viewed as tolerating things that came in and disrupted life. An obnoxious religion with its claim of superior everything, it's essentially supremacy, comes in, and the people in it will only do business with people in that religion. They begin to shut communities out. The other thing is that they come in and 5 times a day, there's the call of the muezzin, and you hear this, what sounds like shrieking over a loudspeaker, or some guy really singing badly, kind of caterwauling over a microphone, and that is what the public hears. That would be a disturbance of the peace from anyone else. Okay. And so we have to make a decision whether or not we're going to allow this in religious freedom, allow a religion to come in and transform our neighborhood or not. That's really a decision we're going to have to make. And the decision that they make in places like Minneapolis is, yes, we're going to be good neighbors. We're going to let them come in. It's kind of like the suicide Jews being against Israel, being Jewish, being against Israel. That it's a free country. Be as insane.
Well, there's a difference between belief and action. So religious belief is certainly covered, and you can have sermons, you can talk about your ideas, you can hold them closely, but that doesn't give you the right to violate.
The part that's relevant to public life is behavior. Personal beliefs, nobody cares if you are a Sufi versus Sunni or a Shia. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is hearing that prayer call 5 times a day.
So what they're trying to do is they're claiming, I think this woman said, this mosque specifically has become a place that people really, really feel at home, said person I don't care about. They want to change the rules after the fact so that they can do what they've been doing, just more of it, to just be as annoying to the neighbors as possible. And they absolutely should get the same consideration as any other religion. But if the Baptists were ringing the church bells at 11:30 at night, they'd get in trouble too. They absolutely shouldn't get a free pass on this stuff. And it's like people moving in next to the airport and then complaining about the noise. They moved into a neighborhood where the noise wasn't allowed, and now they want to change the rules because it's expedient. This is a very Microsoftian embrace and extend kind of thing. Oh, yeah, we totally, we're going to be the best neighbors ever. We totally support the rules and we're going to live by them. And then, later it's like, since, maybe we should revisit this and you should just give us more of what we want. And this will definitely be the last time. Yeah.
They're on fire to convert you. That's a very evangelistic.
Well, also, this is the religion that doesn't see any distinction between secular and religious.
No.
There is no distinction for them.
Exactly. It is a full system. That's what Sharia is.
Yeah.
Sharia is the non-religious part of Islam. You realize that? That's what Sharia is. Sharia is the law. That's what it means in Arabic.
I think I'm wearing some mixed fiber clothing right now.
Considering the price of the houses in the neighborhood that mosque is part of,
yeah,
I legitimately believe they want to force the people out to sell low, so this way that their own people can buy the houses.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Because truthfully, that's what I would do.
No, it's like a whole Bond villain kind of thing. No, you're absolutely right.
Because most of the houses are $2 million to about $4 million. Sorry, $5 million. In just the 2 roads that are near where that is, by what stuff online says. They're older homes, it's mature trees. They want to force all the neighbors out, and they're going to be as annoying as hell as they possibly can. This way they will sell their houses low, because I've seen this. There was a group of the same religion who tried to move into a city near here that's near the university in Huntington, who tried the same thing, and they didn't understand how obstinate West Virginians are.
Well,
so they played the wrong card, but they basically tried to do that. They tried to play the prayer music. It mysteriously got really loud at night. Not during the day when all the traffic was happening. No, it was at night when there wasn't a lot of traffic. And cops shut them down real fast. The people in the neighborhood shut them down real fast. And needless to say, there's not a lot of people who go to that mosque anymore because they can't. But they tried, but the neighbors knew what they were doing. They were trying to force them out of their houses to make them sell cheap, so this way their own people could buy them.
Well, a long time ago, on another Saturday night, I brought up a story about a mosque in Katy, Texas, and they
around Houston.
Yeah, and they built this mosque, and then the mosque got established, and they said, hey. There's a pig farm next door to the mosque. We don't like that because pigs are dirty, unclean beasts, and you need to make it go away. And so the pig farmer and the local community, instead of giving them what they asked for, organized pig races that sometimes coincide with the afternoon calls to prayer.
Nice.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. It's a big FU.
Pig races 5 times.
Pig races are pretty great. The little
and a nice
ones.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a nice block party barbecue.
Yeah.
Just let that smell. That'll run them off real quick.
Bacon.
Have dogs running around too. Oh, and the pigs are just...
You know what my fantasy is for the outdoor prayer things? A bunch of them stop traffic, get out their prayer mats, start to pray, but I've got a bus full of Mormon missionaries. I'm not afraid to.
I was afraid you're going to go full trolley problem on them. And just for the record, I am perfectly happy letting people do whatever religion they want. But like I said, there's a difference between belief and action.
Stop traffic?
There's a difference between belief and action, right? Yeah. You can believe that paying Caesar is against your religion. That doesn't mean you get to be tax exempt. You can believe that marijuana is part of your religion.
Caesar
that doesn't
believe that.
Mean that a Rastafarian gets to wander around, smoking like a Besmer converter.
It's also the fact that, like, let's be honest, if they were still in a low technology part of the world, they absolutely would need a call to prayer. You don't need to blare that like that. You just have it go out through people's phones. Have an app for the church, because even
do you know why they blare it, Serenity?
Control?
No, so people can hear it. That's the only religion in those towns, and so that call to prayer is a call to prayer for the town. Everybody that's like their newscast. That's like their CNN. Dead serious.
Well, and like
it's called to prayer, and that's typical of Islam. Islam tries to satisfy every part of a person's earthly need, their religious and their legal and their personal needs. And even Islam is annoyingly complete at telling you how to live your life. You start to read some of the hadiths and even some of the minor hadiths, not Bukhari and Muslim, but some of the lesser hadiths that are very specialized from people who address specific parts of ancient Muslim world. It's very instructive as to how completely Islam dominates people's lives in Islamic countries. That's why these countries are completely Islamic. These are countries without a single Christian or a single Jew in them. There are countries like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing of like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get why they do it in their Muslim controlled countries, but like here, we know that you don't have to do that here. You know, you're
Oh,
in the middle of a neighborhood. We
no,
all
I
know
was just
why you're
trying to. I was
doing.
just trying to give you some background of
Oh
where
yeah.
that comes
Oh.
from.
Yeah. No, I
in
get
tho-
it.
Agreed.
In those countries.
But that's the thing, though. At least, and here, we know you don't have to do that. So you're doing it for the purpose of control and manipulation.
That's what they want.
Intimidation.
Intimidation.
They want that here. They want to be the only thing. They
Yeah.
want to overthrow the government of the United States and institute an Islamic what amounts to the type of government that exists in Iran.
I know.
They don't even want what Saudi Arabia has. They want Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Saudi Arabia is mostly performative stuff anyway, but make it look like they're westernized, but they're not that westernized. But it's still, it's like I'm completely aware of what they want. It's just for everyone you have like Minneapolis, you have places like Katy, Texas, and my home cities in my home state who are just like, fuck you. Just have that moment where it's like, no, screw you. But that's kind of the thing of like, I'm all religions at one point were like that in the olden days, but it's not needed anymore, except Islam's doing it so this way they can keep control. And that's the thing that makes it both dangerous, but it also makes it if there's a way to get through to people, which I know is very, very difficult when you're raised in that kind of system. So I'm not saying this is easy, but that's also the way to topple it. Because you do have some of them who are not happy in the system. And well, we also know that a lot of them are perform.
Let me ask you a question. What would be a religious very similar the way it's all encompassing and describes how every part of your life should be lived? What's a good example of a religion that does that? Christianity
used to do it.
No, look, just hear me out. Buddhism doesn't. Hinduism, that's all over the place. There's 57,000 gods, literally thousands of gods. But it's Judaism.
Yeah.
Judaism is very similar in some ways to Islam. It's just not as oppressive, a little bit more intellectually mature. And the rules make a hell of a lot more sense. And you kind of get the feeling that it was thought over the centuries by generally brighter people.
Like some lawyers and some bankers got involved in putting it together.
When
they weren't manipulating the weather.
Really interesting thing about Judaism is the fact that Judaism actually accounts for those who are not the believers of Judaism, but will still be accepted into heaven. Because they acknowledge that. They're like, we know that not everyone's going to follow our belief, but as long as certain
what is their concept of heaven? What is Judaism?
It's not like
of heaven. What is it?
It's not like Christianity. It's just kind of, I don't want to say it's nothingness, but it's
do you know what it is?
I want Mormon heaven.
I want the planets. I like.
Yeah, you get a planet when you're a Mormon.
I want a planet.
Absolutely.
I want a fucking planet.
Yeah.
Well, it's in Judaism. It's essentially the way it was explained to me is it's like you're going back to the Garden of Eden, but not quite. It's not permanent. It's a weird thing. It's not quite reincarnation. either. It's like I said, the way it was explained to me is going back to the Garden of Eden. That's the way it was always explained to me.
All right, let me just get it to you straight. Judaism, the idea of hell is called Gehenna. It's actually Gehinnom, I believe, Gehinnom, but it's Gehenna is what you see westernized, and it's kind of like a purgatory kind of thing. It kind of gets you to address your sins and gets you your soul ready for something else, and it serves as a spiritual washing machine and can last as long as a year, according to some of the writings that are in the Talmud. But that's all from Talmud. That's not from Bible.
Yeah,
there's no hell in the Old Testament. There's a lot of fire and brimstone in the Old Testament. There's no hell.
Oh yeah, no, it's just
the
more
Christians needed hell.
Well, a lot of hell, air quotes, comes from the story of Dante's Inferno. A lot of that's where a lot of people misinterpret the mixture of thing. It's a whole. It's
his poem. His poem,
yeah.
Dante's Inferno, is a poem. His poem came from his interpretation of the Bible, and it was heavily influenced by the Catholic Church. I've read Dante's Inferno probably 10 times, all the way through. I love that. I absolutely fascinating. And he makes the different hell come alive. It's really worthwhile exploring. Anybody who's listening, Dante's Inferno is at the get a translation. There's some stuff with amazing pictures in it too, amazing drawings that show what they're talking about. Really beautiful stuff. One of my favorite
things. But like the thing,
it's a hell of a book.
The thing that makes Judaism a big difference from Islam is the fact that, one, Judaism doesn't try to push its religion on other people. It's very much like, we'll be over here.
Yeah,
but
right. Exactly.
But two, also,
that's perfect.
Judaism teaches the belief of the righteous non-Jews, righteous of nations. It's basically what it's called, which is basically you do not have to be Jewish.
Judaism. Those who bless Judaism.
And it's righteous. Like it's based on the actions and not beliefs, and they're also part of heaven, which is very different than a lot of other religions that try to say that, no, you have to believe the way we believe. And I kind of wish Judaism was a little bit more open to trying to convert people, but I also respect it because it acknowledges the fact
they don't want you unless you really want them.
Well, that's what I mean. They want people. They don't want people to join them because you want to get into heaven or because you're trying to purify your soul, air quotes.
Well, they don't want people who are just joiners, thinking that they're joining something like these people who are converting to Islam. They don't want anything like that. Yeah. They want the opposite of that. The people who convert to Judaism are usually deeply serious about it. Except for the Kabbalists. Some of them are very unserious, but most of the people who religiously convert are deeply serious about it.
Oh yeah.
May we get back to the spreadsheet?
Sorry,
that's
I
okay.
gotta take care of puppies anyway.
Okay, so
I'll shut up.
That's okay. You don't have to shut up. Well, I mean, we could talk about that, but second week of Star Trek Starfleet Academy did not crack Nielsen top 10 streaming chart. So there is a chart that keeps track of this stuff because people say, how do you know? Maybe it wasn't just written for you. Well, we can see whether people are bothering to watch it. And for the second week in a row, it's not even in the top 10. Stranger Things is at the top, very closely followed by Landman. And that is the only show on the Paramount streaming service that's in the top 10. Starfleet Academy thing, when it opened, managed to come in, I think, at number 5. And it quickly dropped off once people saw what a complete piece of crap it was. Because watching 32nd Century Space High School was just not really what people wanted to do. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I really should just keep beating up on this poor show, but it looks like reruns of Veronica Mars are doing better than it is. You know, Bridgerton's doing better. Everything is better.
I think this is a good sign that, like, it's, you know,
yeah,
you can probably put a pin in it and call it dead. Even if they come up with more like in the news about it, you know, it's not going anywhere
yeah.
at this point. They're just it's like they on purpose are putting things out like this just to get a reaction, so they can just say, "Look how terrible everybody is." And
I think
we're probably feeding into it by discussing like this all the time.
Well, Kurtzman Trek just needs to just stop and maybe let the ground be fallow for a while until you can find somebody who actually cares about the franchise and has talent, and then come back and come up with something good. I don't see the point of this stuff, and I am their target audience. You know, somebody. I actually subscribe to Paramount Plus, and you know what? I could watch this for $0 additional, and I'm choosing not to.
And to answer Skip's question in the chat there, maybe let it go for like the next 5 years. Just like let a round of let it go for a round. But my worry is that they've stopped allowing unique IPs or giving money to something that may fail because nobody knows about it. So they're giving money to and destroying what people love because they think they'll bring people to it. So maybe they should like shelve all of these, like the Star Wars, Star Trek, so all of these like huge properties, and reduce budgets and give out more money to like smaller, like sci-fi short run series or something, and maybe we'll find more gems out there.
That's what Apple TV's doing. I mean,
reignite the imagination and stuff like that.
But like Pluribus is an amazingly creative show. There's a lot. And they do things on Apple TV that just suck and go away after a season or two. That does happen, but they're doing exactly that. Instead of having these big franchise universe, cinematic universe things, they're putting a lot of money into stuff and they're taking risks, and some of it really pays off. There's some pretty incredible TV on Apple TV. Not a lot of it. I mean, maybe it's not worth people's money, but compared to the stuff that's on Paramount Plus, I would say that Landman is an incredible show. Billy Bob Thornton, just about every time I see him in a role where it's like a serious role and I look at it and go, I think he was born to play that role. I almost always feel that every time I see that guy on screen. He's an amazing actor. It's hard to get too much of that guy. He was pretty amazing in Fargo and a lot of other things. That guy can really act well. Landman is a good show. It's just it may be a subject that you're not interested in. Just like I've seen clips from The Queen. I think it was Claire Foy and the guy who played the Time Lord after David Tennant, Matt Smith. And you see bits of that and I go, man, that's an incredibly well-made show. And I don't want to watch it because the subject matter is just not interesting. Yeah. And Landman is one of those things like it is an incredible show and you might just not want to watch it because the subject matter. But if you like that kind of subject matter, kind of something that's real and gritty, and it's an amazing show. It makes up for how bad all the Star Trek stuff is. But yeah, Star Trek Academy, it is just time for Kurtzman Trek to just take a nap. It's like you've done your damage. Play out that last episode of Strange New Worlds that's already in the can, and then let's just be done with it for a while. That's just my opinion. All right. So let's see. How are we doing here? Oh, I found a really good video. Let me copy this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat for everybody. You guys thought much about the Venera probes that went to Venus? Probably not a thing that people think about every day.
I think about that literally every day.
I found an amazing video about that, about the Russian programs to send landers to Venus. I put the link in the live chat for everybody.
You can hear the sound of the Venus wind on one of them.
It's one of those things that I know a lot about, but there's stuff I didn't know that's in this video. Like I didn't realize the way they actually took the pictures. You can't take like a regular television camera. Here, let me just change the visuals here, and I'll mute this. So this is on the Fexel channel, FEXL, and it's 23 minutes and 26 seconds, and it is a hell of a good video. It's a fantastic video if you're interested in planetary stuff. So they didn't have cameras that would work. You know, you in the atmosphere, it's just too hot. It's too terrible. So instead, they basically had a much simpler device that just said, okay, what is the intensity of light at this particular spot? And then they just scanned. It was like a photo something-tometer that they used. And then they created these images by painstakingly going over this. And they knew that they had around 45 minutes of operational time to try to get any data and send it back before the probe was just going to fail. And so these images that they took were done in such a painful sort of way to try to deal with it. And there were problems that the Russians ran into that they had to work around. So in one instance, they had this hammer that was going to come down and hit the ground, and they were going to try to measure the density of the planet's surface. But what ended up happening was the titanium lens cover for the effectively camera popped off, landed on the surface, and right where the claw was supposed to come down, it hit the titanium lens cap. It's infinitely dense as far as we can tell. Yeah, it's because you hit a piece of titanium, not the surface. That just, like, what are you going to do? You send this probe all the way to Venus, and it only...
something like that happens.
And then something like that happens. You just got to laugh at a certain point.
Yeah.
But this is an amazing video, and I totally recommend that anybody who's interested in planetary science take a look at it. It's well worth your time. It's a great video.
In one of the videos, you can hear the wind on Venus, and you hear the lens cap being popped off the lander.
Yeah.
There's some great information on this. I've been fascinated by this. I'm fascinated by these landers for years, and have stared into those.
I'm trying to see if I can find. Oh, here's the sound of Venus here.
Bring the drill mechanism. It then recorded the grinding noise of the bit cutting into the basaltic rock. This audio confirmed that the dense atmosphere was an excellent conductor of sound. The environment was not just hot and pressurized, it was noisy.
That's the lens cover.
Kind of reminds me of the sound of the blood going through my ears when my ears get clogged up. It's like that kind of, sort of noise. No, this is a great video, and I recommend people go take a look at it. I'm not going to pretend that I can duplicate all of the content here in the scope of this show. But yeah, I've really just a lot of respect and admiration for the Russian scientists who put this thing together, because it's the story of the whole Venera program. It's totally worth a listen.
Venus is going to be hard to settle.
Yeah. I think we've got some economic refugees who might want to go there. It's warm.
I'd like to take them.
You don't want to stay in Minnesota. Nah.
Cold, eh?
Yeah, it's cold. Let me see. So what do we got here? How much more time do we have? We have about 20 more minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so what do we want to do for 20 minutes and 30 seconds? We have a few different things. Yeah, crime. No, I have some stuff, but can't do that because functional's gone. I wanted to talk a little bit about, the whole church thing, just sort of as counterpoint to it. So there's this thing, Daily Nightmare descends on Tesla charging lot in San Francisco. Nightmare? Really? It's a lot where people can bring their Teslas in and plug them in and charge them and then go away. This is a nightmare? This many cars, it says it's snarling traffic. It's not snarling traffic. You're just whining.
That brought that city to its knees, Harry.
I know. Look at that in that Cybertruck. I'll bet he voted for Trump.
There's 8 cars there. There's 10 cars. Good Lord.
I know. God, people will complain about anything. Just anything. Look at all.
You don't understand.
How does
I
the
can
Tesla
barely breathe.
how does the Tesla parking make you
they're
feel?
polluting
Yeah. How does it make you
those
feel?
electric cars.
It doesn't, objectively it's not particularly bad for traffic, but it feels like it's bad for traffic. That's what really matters. Feels. The vibe.
Mm. Well, maybe what's happening is that the people who have the Teslas in that neighborhood are
Mhm.
all the worst drivers. That's why it's a nightmare.
Probably.
The Teslas, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Jesus. It's on Lombard Street because that's like a real quiet. There's never anything going on Lombard Street.
Yeah, the heartbeat of San Francisco is Lombard Street. People don't.
Well, I mean,
Lombard, Van Ness.
Yeah, it's just a parking lot with some electric cars in it and some chargers. It's not a nightmare. Shut up, SF Gate. Jesus.
On Lombard Street, that hardly even be noticed.
Yeah, this is just a fart in a whirlwind in the sea of annoyance of living in San Francisco.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I remember that's down there, down around the old Grissom Steakhouse. I know exactly where that is.
Well, here's another thing that pissed me off is this particular headline. AI helped uncover a 50 to 80 times improvement in some Linux IO thing. So this person was trying to figure out why a particular type of disk performed so poorly compared to another type of disk. And they got their AI agent out and started looking into what the problem was. Now, okay, so, this is another Tuesday for many people. No big deal. Bring out Claude Code, look at this thing, try to figure out what the problem is. And AI identified that essentially there was a thing with a sleep where it was basically polling. So it was saying, have you got anything for me to do? Sleep for like a good significant fraction of a second and then go back and check again. It's a stupid way to write code. All that AI did was it did a little bit of code evaluation, but it makes it sound like AI did this miraculous thing where it like saved us dumb humans from ourselves. Right. This is so much AI dick writing. It's just the worst.
That's not that.
It's not that. I mean, good on you, Claude Code, for finding the totally obvious problem.
But even so, that's a wonderful thing for those of us who remember a time before programming.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very useful tool.
Amazing time to be alive.
I love some of the text in this message, though, because it wasn't without some collateral damage. So this took a while. One funny side quest was Claude deciding it should check if my destructive reproducer was also slow on VirtIO block. Okay, it's a different type of device. Then proceeded to blow away the device for his virtual disk and concluded that, that was fine. Okay.
No problem.
And then when he asked Claude, did you do this? Claude said, yes, I did do that. Okay.
And I'm proud.
At least he's not lying.
Yeah. Then he asked it to fix it, and it blew away the first 28 megabytes on the device.
Nice.
Yeah. Good job, Claude. You're my best friend. No, just, I mean, AI is good for what it's good for, and it's bad for what it's bad for.
Yeah.
Jesus. Just terrible. Oh, so speaking of, I was right again. Sorry. I can't do the razor fist thing the way he does. Remember a few weeks ago, I showed something and I could tell that chat and probably much of the panel was wondering, Harry, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me about these expensive Macs that are cabled together to do this DMA thing for AI? Why would anybody want to do that? I present to you Exhibit A, okay? It turns out that there's so much demand for AI capacity, people have said, oh, I can get a computer that the GPU and the memory is shared with half a terabyte of memory between that the GPU and the CPU can both address at the same time. They're gobbling these things up
really fast.
They're gobbling these things up. So it used to be like 6 days. Now it's up to 6 weeks to get one of these Macs that have the really large amount of memory. The Mac Studios that I was talking about.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's the older chip. It's called the M3 Ultra, and essentially it's like 2 chips with super high connection. It's got like insane memory bandwidth. It's a beast of a chip, and there will eventually be an M5 Ultra and M6 Ultra, which will just crush this thing. But in the meantime, if you want to buy a computer that sits on your desk, and because you can't go out and just buy memory, one of the cheapest things you can do is just give $10,000 to Apple and get one of these things, because then you can run your AI models locally and you're not beholden to the cloud. I knew people were going to go out and grab these things up, and that's what's happening. You can just tell by the amount of time it takes to buy them. So go away, Tom's Hardware. Okay, so let's see. How much time do we have? Because at some point we just have to switch to palette cleansers. Okay, so can we do palette cleansers for 14 minutes? We can try, right? I think we can do that.
We can do it.
Of course we can.
Okay, so
We've got this.
I have a thing for you, the one and only one music thing for this week. So he's playing Old MacDonald on an electric guitar with a spoon.
Yeah. All right. Here's what he's doing.
Okay.
He is, with his left hand, he's playing the bass part to Old MacDonald, which goes bum, 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 very basic like that. Or you can also play it bum, 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 bum. And with the spoon, he's using the spoon as a guitar slide. Way you might have seen people use beer bottles as a slide, or silver slide that they put on their finger to and what that does is it makes the neck of the guitar wherever the slide is. So the neck normally is way up at the top, up where those little turning things are. And, but you can make the top of the guitar go way down just by taking something solid like a piece of steel and just laying it on the string, and then you pluck the string that is not muted by the in other words, that's downstream from the where you have it blocked by the piece of metal, and he's just using a spoon for that, and doing it and using that to play the high melody part, and he's playing it way up like that. That's why he's so far down there, so he can get a high tone that'll be a counterpoint to the low tones produced by the left hand. Boom, 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 boom.
I feel like my guitar doesn't sound enough like a theremin. Let me get my spoon.
Yeah. You can't, and that's also the sign. And I say this as somebody. I'm not a slide guitarist. I'm a pretty serious guitarist in other ways, but I'm not really a slide guitarist. And when guitarists who aren't experienced with a slide, that's what the slide tone sounds like. Stuff that sounds like these guys out of Nashville, that comes after practice.
So I have some functional art for you. So this is part of an old-timey elevator. So this is a 1902 elevator. Okay. See that thing that's just glowing there?
An analog computer right there.
Well, that's not the analog switching part. What that is the thing that converts the AC current to DC for the motors.
Oh, that's the...
And it's got that fan, and those things are glowing. So those are basically mercury arc rectifiers. So those are diodes with mercury vapor in them, and they're running all kinds of power through to get to those motors. And I was looking at it going, why are there 6 of them? And then I thought to myself, you're a moron. And I realized why. You know why there's 6 of them, don't you, Skep?
Well, let me think of what's going on.
Why there's 6 instead of 4? Because it usually takes 4 diodes to make a rectifier to turn AC into DC. Except there's something else going on.
What are you having to compensate for with the extra 2 diodes?
No, I'll put you out of your misery. 3-phase power.
Oh, 3-phase power. Yes.
I looked at it and I go, that looks like 6. I go, that has to do with that has to be 3-phase power. Yeah.
It's 3-phase.
Because it's basically 3 sine waves superimposed over each other.
Right. And that's what I was trying to figure out was what got something else to resolve.
Exactly.
Diodes, and what it is.
Here you go, Sora.
hate this.
That guy should
And I
not
don't
be
thank you
wearing
for
that
it.
clear acrylic bucket over his head coming out of the pool. I just feel like this is a way to die. I'm not really sure how, but it instinctively bugs me. I don't know. I don't like it either.
Terrible.
Don't like things with our breathing holes covered.
So watch this carefully. This isn't just motorcycle simping on my part. Just watch this and see what happens.
Yep, I know where this is going.
Uh-oh.
Yep. There we go.
Uckfay.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. You got rocked. Okay. So Serenity,
Yo,
want to see some really good engineering?
go for it. Run Premier, yeah.
Oh, you've seen that one.
What is this?
That's
No
somebody's
AC
air
unit that's
conditioner.
That is hanging
What
on,
the?
and it's still going. And the guy's like, I'm not touching it because it's gonna. Nope.
It looks like
It's
he
still
used
working.
like maybe some old clothesline cord or something to
Yeah,
tie it to
That's
that.
clothesline. That's exactly what.
Yeah,
that is.
it's rusting apart. Hey, if it works, don't
It's
fix
still
it.
working. Fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is fucking engineering. That's what that is.
That's pure fucking luck with that.
And listen to her purse, Gap. That is
Yeah,
peak
that's-
engineering right there.
Yeah, that's gonna last a long time too. Making noise like that.
Yeah.
Because noise isn't a sign of stress in the system.
I feel like there's
Oversight.
plenty of water to keep the evaporator from overheating. It's
yeah.
It's got plenty of airflow. That's for sure.
yeah, no, that's a free breathing engine. That's pretty good.
Man.
Okay, I put these little notes here, and then I can't remember. Oh, yes, this is good. I may have shown this before. I apologize. So Piano Matt adds like piano music to videos that aren't necessarily musical.
I am very proud of myself and all of my other friends inside my class. And my class is really sweet, except one little boy. I need to tell you.
Let me tell you what's wrong with me.
This guy Piano Matt does all these like little soundtrack
That's so
things that go along
cute.
with different stuff.
That's
The
great.
girl with the chocolate bars in the UK. I didn't know he did this
Girls,
one.
what's just happened?
So, there's an ice cream van there. Silly. Just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it.
Yeah.
For bloody £9 for 2 of them.
£9 for two.
Yeah, £9. That is gonna get nowhere. The one that comes on my street's out of £1 a pay.
That's epic. I wish I could play the
Nice.
piano. God, it's so frustrating. Do you guys remember this classic one? Because I've been earwigged with this for the last couple days. This is from a few years ago.
Oh, I like.
Do you remember the chord thing? Serenity, I think it knows it, if it'll ever load.
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that corn was real, it tasted good.
Did you think corn wasn't real?
But when I tried it with butter, everything changed. I love corn. Corn.
Do you think everyone should be eating corn?
No, not everyone has to like it to be the best.
Yeah.
Everyone just has to try it. Have a bite.
What else are your favorite things?
I play a variety of games.
He likes corn like AOC likes other people's money. I mean,
Yeah, no kidding.
so people made
that's
like
a classic.
musical things about it. I think it's his love of corn is very pure, and I approve.
He says it like he comes from Alabama. They say cone.
Corn.
Cone.
I think
Give me
recess,
a piece of that cone, boy.
he may be originally from there, but recess therapy is in New York City. At least as far as I know, they're only in.
I'm just saying he sounds like he comes from Alabama.
Big day?
Oh, he probably does.
What? It's just a pun about cone.
That kid's great. I love that kid. Okay, so speaking of things I don't love, we just went from corn to cringe. Stupid spreadsheet in your stupid categories. Okay.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe a male tweaker attempting what he believes is transportation. He stole a kid's bike, later reclassified as a tweaker tricycle. The creature then begins attaching his prized possession, the tweaker trailer. Victorious, the tweaker mounts the child's bike, now fully upgraded, and rides off proudly.
That's so bad.
God,
I like cringe way more than you guys do.
that is cringe core.
That poor kid, some poor kid lost his bike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some junkie.
Well, how about this?
In range, but the only way an under is hitting in Glenwood,
They're gambling on live traffic
is if
now.
you're getting right-hand turns. Like if these guys coming straight are brake checking on the right and they're slowing everyone down. Glenwood's an over, man, always.
This guy's handicapping traffic?
Yeah. Is there anything people won't gamble on?
Too busy. No. The Sorolova camera is glitching as fuck.
If there's a thing, there's porn about it. There's also gambling about it.
Yeah.
Dude, can I stop hammering the over on a traffic jam? Wait, this traffic jam might help us. Get the fucking green! Hit the right!
He's very committed. So yeah, people are gambling on traffic cams. I kid you not.
No, I shouldn't be surprised, I suppose, but no, you kind of hope sometimes that people are more decent, but there you go.
You know that low bridge that I guess they call the can opener? I can't remember where it's located, but people keep running into it. And it just takes the top off of trucks and knocks ACs off of RVs and all that sort of stuff.
It's in Ohio. It's around Cleveland.
I could see betting on that. You know, like you could bet on the number of people that lose something off the top of their car in a given day or a given hour.
Skip, are you sure? Because I could have sworn that was in North Carolina.
I don't know.
I thought the one that I think there's more than one.
I just know it's awesome.
There's one that I know about in Ohio.
There's one that's super famous, and people say, well, why don't you make it taller? It's like, well, you can't regrade the railway.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to do that kind of the way you can.
Do you know how much that train weighs?
The amount of money it would take.
What those bridges are, because they're railway bridges, are very expensive, much more expensive than a automobile road bridge, much more.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be specially reinforced, like Ernie. Because trains weigh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they just tear up those bridges, and you basically have to disassemble that bridge, just even to dig down under it to redo the road. You also have to redo the bridge over the road.
Yep,
that's the problem.
Meaning, read the damn sign and don't take your tall vehicle under that bridge. It's clearly marked, like really clearly marked, and yet on any given day, there's people getting their cars and trucks damaged. So while we're on transportation, one more little thing.
I will not accept that it's a highly dangerous road. The road, obviously, like other roads, gives cause for concern. Work is finished. The Central Reserve safety fencing will go ahead.
Yeah. Luckily, no one was hurt in the crash. It was just another example of how hazardous the A19 can be.
I will.
It's not that dangerous. Crash.
You're some government guy talking about how this road isn't dangerous, everything's fine, and then there's like a demolition derby happening behind him. Good job.
I love the British sometimes.
Oh, they are so twee and delightful, aren't they?
So twee.
Yes. So, anything
tumbly down house.
Anything else we need to discuss before we vamonos?
Good show, Harry.
Yo voy, tu vas. What is it? Ustedes vamonos? I can't conjugate in Spanish. I'm terrible. Well, this has been your Minions of the Zoo for Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. The zoo is closed.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Esta en robo.